So, what do you think about intimacy exchange with a stranger? So many times people meet somebody and immediately it turns sexual when they don't even actually know the person. So, yeah, they might have known them enough to meet them when they were walking down the street, or maybe they, bumped into them and chatted with them at the bar, something like that. But why do people think that they can jump right into sexual comments when they don't actually even know the person that they're making these sexual comments with? I mean, it can be really fun and mysterious, but I think it's so interesting because a lot of times people are sexually drawn to somebody. They objectified them in a sensual way, not all bad. But then what ends up happening is they get so focused on the sex part of it that they actually don't even get to know the person part of the connection. I am Jacqueline, founder and creator of Discover Love Matches, and I really want to chat about this because I'm noticing some interesting mental separations that go on. So somebody will refer to somebody as a sexual being and the sexual energy, they'll acknowledge their sexual body parts that they're attracted to, but they don't know anything about the person. They might not even know their last name. They don't really even know anything about them as an individual. So what has that worked for you? Are you somebody who just kind of sexually draws into somebody? And then also what I think is interesting is if you are somebody that does that, do you actually expect attention in return? I think this is fascinating because what I'm getting the gist of it is a lot of times people, they have this sexual desire. I mean, I think that's where hookups are all designed from, but they actually get offended if the person doesn't have enough time or energy for them, yet they have no actual relationship. They're just two sexual beings kind of sparking this energy between one another, but yet they're not actually getting to know each other as individuals. So I'm very curious, have you ever been in a situation where there's just a sexual focus, yet you don't actually get to know the person? Obviously, chemistry is oh so important, and chemistry makes such a difference. But there's an energy that comes from just respectful conversation. There's a little intrigue that comes from it. And that even if you want to hook up with somebody, what's the harm in actually getting to know them as a person? I can tell you guys that if you got to know somebody as a person, you probably would have a higher chance that she's going to want to be connected to you, because women like to feel valued and appreciated, and not just for their curves, but for their intellect, for their stories, for how they live their lives. And that is actually a turn on. They're going to want to get to know you better, and they're going to want to have more fun with you. But if you meet somebody who sexually arouses you and you don't know anything about them, and then you are expecting more of their time, energy, and attention, yet you're actually not trying to get to know them, you're just wanting to know their sexual being parts, then you are missing out on something really amazing. When you get to know somebody, that sexual and sensual energy gets so much more powerful when there is a relationship foundation that comes from it. So you get to choose the degree you allow to connect. I understand anonymously connecting, and I understand travel when people want to just meet somebody that lives far away, but there's something about actually caring about a person and who they are and what they care about that actually will get you a much deeper level of sexual intimacy. It's not just about being in a full-blown girlfriend-boyfriend type relationship. It's about caring about an individual as a person, so then you can get all of the energy and essence that comes from them. What do you think about that? What do you think about actually getting to know somebody that you are super sexually attracted to? Because I think there's an edge between this fantasy world of like, I just want you sexually for fantasy reasons, and this other world of like, oh, I need to get to know you as like a real person, because maybe they wouldn't say the same things to you if you were a real person. But guess what? All people have sexual wants, needs, and desires at different degrees. But if you can get to know them as a person, then you will also build a foundation to where you can get to know them as a sexual partner. And then you can have more of that intimacy. Then together you will decide what level of relationship engagement that is. But the better you know somebody, the more intimate you can be. What do you think about those thoughts? when I talk about that extra layer of intimacy when it comes to creating a relationship just of your own own relationship. Might be just a friendship with benefits, but even a friendship with benefits, it does help to have that friendship part too. All right, comment, like, and subscribe because I want to keep talking about this. I'm very curious what you have to share. Thanks so much for being a part of our community.